We welcome you back to Gov Fuller Field inside the press box at Arnie Allen Diamond. Danny LaRose, David Korzenowski to my right. We promised you we'd be back, and we are about 45 minutes after the completion of game number one, which is a 9-6 Falmouth win. We are just getting underway in game number two. First pitch delivered by Nick Nastrini lands for a strike number one to Brad Beasley. Lineup for YD, Brad Beasley leading off as he did game number one, followed by Noah Campbell, Austin Wells after him, Andrew Eister in the cleanup spot, Jack Wold, the 5-hitter. Riley King follows him at the 6 hole, Jake Palmer at 7, Gavin Dugas at 8, and Drew Swift is in the 9 hole.
Pretty similar lineup for YD. 4 guys getting their second start.
1-1 from Nastrini, who's only thrown his third pitch of his summer. Nastrini from UCLA, the third of the Bruins, who is making his appearance for the Falmouth Commodores. Originally from San Diego, California, coming off of an injury-shortened season where he was only able to throw 15 2/3 innings pitched. A little more than that, I should say. The 1-2. Misses outside. It was 15 2/3 for a while, and then he came back at the very tail end of the season to get a couple of appearances in the postseason and in the Super Regional.
Yeah, and he looked great, Danny. This is one of the guys that scouts are sort of salivating to watch. They got their radar guns out behind the screen here. 1.37 ERA this past season.
The 2-2. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 3. Boy, did that fastball look good. Had some running action to it as well, and Beasley had no chance. He was chasing.
Yeah, now you can see why they're so excited, right? First pitch down the pipe for a strike, and gets Beasley, one of the better hitters on this YD team, to swing through an outside fastball.
Noah Campbell will be the hitter, the designated hitter, batting from the left side. Campbell came in as a pinch hitter in game number one, was easily retired. First pitch he sees, he takes a big cut and comes up empty. Nick Nastrini, who we mentioned, injury-shortened season, but his first appearance after the injury was on June 2nd against LMU out in the regional in Los Angeles. 0-1 in the dirt. He had missed every single game since February 26th, came back, threw 5 innings pitched, allowed 4 hits, only 1 run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, got the win in an elimination game. So talk about a huge moment for a freshman to step into, and he delivered. 1-1 from Nastrini in the dirt. Yet again, 2-1. We'll give you the defensive alignment for the Doors. Some slight changes going around. Nastrini throwing to Claunch behind the plate. Radcliffe at first, Cantrell at second, Cruz in the shortstop hole, Moretto out at third, Maisel in left, Tawa in center, and Deloach in right. So Tawa moves from the infield to the outfield. Maisel, Radcliffe, and Moretto all step in from the bench.
And we see that duo of Cruz and Cantrell back in the middle infield. Kevin Kendall, who played short in game one, looks really good. It's going to be interesting to see how Jeff Trundy manages that, because you kind of want your middle infielders, especially guys who are such good hitters like Cantrell and Cruz, in the lineup every night. Do you DH them now and then? Do you put Kendall in every other night, or does Kendall become the DH?
2-2 offering from Nastrini. Foul ball towards the left side.
And then Dunn designated hitting as well. So Maisel, Moretto, Radcliffe, 3 guys who didn't play at all in game one, getting the start here in game number 2.
A couple guys getting some rest. You mentioned Kendall, Langworthy as well. Here's the 2-2 yet again. Line drive into right field. And that one will settle in front of Deloach, who scoops it up on a couple of hops. And Nick Nastrini, who looked untouchable through his first batter, is now beaten by the second batter. It's a single.
That's one of the things when you throw a hard fastball, you connect with it, it's going a far distance, right? It's not like the first week of the season, Danny, when we saw a lot of infield hits, sort of these squib hits, and part of that was the hitting too, but those pitchers maybe not the same velocity that Nastrini has, so you can't crack it into the outfield as easily as that ball right there. A nice piece of hitting by Campbell.
Here's Austin Wells. Game number one, he had a hit. It was a double and an RBI. Swings the first pitch he sees in game two and fouls it back. Overall, he went 1 for 3 along with a walk.
Yeah, he had that really hard hit double in the third inning where the Red Sox scored 4 and took the lead.
0-1 the count with the runner on first. Here's the pitch to the lefty. It's a breaking ball that beautifully settles in at the knees. Nastrini, boy, he looks good.
Yeah, he's got some really good stuff.
The best part about it is that his injury-shortened season means that he's probably in here for the long haul.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
We saw that with Tyler Dyson last year and Adam Lasky.
Sure.
Here's the 1-1, fastball high.
Adam Lasky, Cape Cod Pitcher of the Year last year. He had a great season. I think it was a sub-2 ERA at 1.89. And he was the #1 starter for the Doors in the West Division Final against Wareham. That was one of the best games we saw all year out at Spillane. A 4-3 win for the Gatemen.
2-1 misses low. Nastrini just trying to find the strike zone a little bit with that breaking ball. It looks like it's got a lot of movement, but it's maybe breaking a little bit too much.
Yeah, that changeup, he was trying to get him swinging. But Wells a really good hitter, no stranger to pitchers like this.
Another ball up high. Count will run full at 3-2. Wells on the season batting .333, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Definitely deserving of the 3-hole spot on this potent YD lineup. Mastrini's payoff pitch, runner goes, it's a ball high. Ball 4, so back-to-back runners reach base, one with a single, one with a walk, and quickly Nick Nastrini has found himself in some trouble.
Yeah, he can settle in, though. It's not like he's wild or all over the place. I think he's hitting his spots for the most part because the off-speed balls that he's thrown, he just hasn't gotten runners to bite the way that he wants. But he just needs to settle that high fastball maybe a little closer to the zone to get him swinging. But a ground ball here, it'll get to the infielders in a hurry, so a good opportunity possibly for a double play.
Here's Andrew Eister, who had himself a game about a couple hours ago. First pitch he sees from Nastrini. Again, sits a little bit high, so a lot of these pitches are missing high from Nick Nastrini. Eister last game had 3 RBIs thanks to 2 hits. He went 2 for 3 with a walk, a home run, and a double. He tied up the ballgame with his 2-run home run in the 5th inning, but that was all the runs that YD would be able to score. They lost 9-6. 1-0 to Eister, takes a big hack at a fastball in and fouls it back into the screen right in front of us.
Yeah, Eister, that transfer from Santa Fe College, a JUCO. And when a guy's transferring from a JUCO to a big program in the SEC like South Carolina, that means he put up good numbers. In 2018, he had a .412 batting average, 84 hits, 13 home runs, 53 RBIs. A lot of power, and he's in the cleanup spot. He's in the 5 spot in Game 1.
Real smooth swing with quick hands, too. Here's the 1-1. That breaker paints the outside corner. That's what Nastrini has been looking for all inning long. Eister originally from Ocala, Florida. That's about 30 miles south of Gainesville. I don't know. My Florida geography may not be perfect. It's near where Austin Langworthy is from, but Eister decided to go to a SEC foe of the Gators with the Gamecocks for his final 2 collegiate years. The 1-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Looked like a fastball that Nastrini went to down in the zone, and Eister could not make contact.
Such a dangerous pitch from Nastrini because it's on the inside part of the plate, but it looked like it was low, but coming out of the hand, he thought that was going to be about knee high, so he had to swing at it and protect with 2 strikes. Came up way empty.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a sinker.
Yeah. No, it definitely had some downward action to it, but it wasn't slow enough to be a changeup.
So here comes Jack Wold, batting from the left side. 2 ducks on the pond, but 2 outs against YD. Line drive into right field. That one is hooking, and it will land fair on the foul line. Fielded by Deloach. 1 run will come in. Another coming around third. The throw misses the cutoff man, rolls into Barron Radcliffe at first base. It is a 2-run double off the bat of Jack Wold, and YD jumps out to a 2-0 lead.
That's great hitting from Jack Wold from UNLV. And something I've heard, the more I talk to players, sometimes that first pitch is the best one you're going to get, especially from a guy like Nastrini. You know he throws a quick fastball, get the hands out quick. He was in front of it, pulled it down the line, and it landed square on that right field line. Easy 2 runs and a nice double from Wold.
Yeah, Wold wasted no time, like you said. Saw the best pitch he was probably going to see in the entire at-bat, given Nestrini's stuff.
Because you saw how Eister, the best hitter in the YD lineup, further he got into that at-bat, the less contact he was making.
Absolutely. First pitch swinging now is Riley King as he lopes one into left field. It stays up long enough for Austin Maisel. A loud out number 3 coming after the 2 RBI double. So that will do it for the top of the first. A lot of pitches thrown by Nestrini. He allows 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We will go to the bottom of the first, 2-0 Red Sox.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. You're looking right now at Game 2 lineup for the Falmouth Commodores. Similar a little bit to game number 1. Hayden Cantrell leading off at second base, followed by Tim Tawa. Trey Cruz batting third. Boy, does he deserve that third place spot. Zach DeLoach is in the cleanup hole, moving up a bunch of spots after his awesome game 1. He's followed by Steven Moretto. After that is Blake Dunn, then Barron Radcliffe getting his first start of the day. Troy Claunch down to the 8th spot, and Austin Maisel finally penciled into the lineup after a long hiatus. He is batting 9th.
Yeah, it has been a while for Austin Maisel. It's been a while for a lot of these guys, obviously because of all of the rainouts, but Maisel in particular. Temporary player from Holy Cross, but he hasn't played since June 17th. So he did get one pinch run appearance against Wareham, but his last start was against Hyannis back on June 14th. So it's been a while since he's been in the starting lineup, and he'll be batting 9th. He's hit well so far this year, 4 for 10. But once those big guys come into town and guys like DeLoach, Tawa, Claunch start batting really well, it sort of raises the stakes for everyone else. They have to be that much more on their game.
There's a lot. There's only 9 spots, and there's a lot of guys deserving of those 9 spots on the Doors roster right now. First pitch to Hayden Cantrell, coming up from Carlos Lamelli, is taken for a ball outside. Lamelli, a right-hander on the bump for Yarmouth Dennis from UCLA himself. Second pitch he throws is lifted into center field. That will stay up long enough right at Beasley for out number 1. Pardon me, Lamelli from St. Mary's College.
Another California school.
Yeah. Mixed up my UC schools.
Of course, yeah. They got UC, they got California Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, San Luis Obispo on this roster. A lot of guys who play their ball out in California. But he had a really good year, Danny. 10-2 record. It's not often you see 10 wins, especially from a guy who is not making the NCAA tournament, but they're making the West Coast Conference tournament.
First pitch he throws to another California guy, Tim Tawa, is taken outside. Tawa had a pretty good game in his official first game as a Falmouth Commodore. Started off rough, 0 for 2, double play ball, a strikeout, then reached with an error and scored a run, got a stolen base, and then scored another run in the next inning after a single. So he got progressively better as his plate appearances wore on.
I'm interested in Lamelli's delivery. He's got a really low arm slot. It's tough to hit, especially for righties.
Tawa bounces one over towards second base. Nobody's covering the first base bag. It's going to be a play over there, and Lamelli getting there in just the nick of time to beat out the speedy Tawa. Both the first baseman, Wold, and the second baseman, Dugas, went for the ball at the same time, so Lamelli had a vacuum that he needed to seal up quickly.
The rare 4-1 putout as Jack Wold came off the bag at first. That's not really his ball because you got Dugas, who is fielding back at second base. He was playing deep enough to get over in plenty of time. You saw how far Lamelli had to go.
Here's Trey Cruz batting from the left side yet again. Watches ball 1 sit inside. Cruz had his first couple of ABs from the left side in game 1, and then his final at-bat from the right was maybe the most impressive, a long home run. Watch his strike number 1 graze the outside part of the plate.
And
He finished a perfect 3 for 3 yet again, 2 for 2, pardon me, yet again.
Yeah, he's great. And you called it when that home run went off his bat. He knew it, right? I mean, that was a moonshot to left field.
1-1 is absolutely clobbered, but he was way out ahead of it. Maybe he had to put it 400 feet to the other direction in order to put that into play.
He's swinging a great bat, man. I mean, once he's gotten that timing down, he's adjusted to the wood bats. He is just mashing first home run in game 1. He's making hard contact.
Here's the 1-2 to the Falmouth shortstop. It's taken outside.
And you can see Lamelli adjust, right? He knows that he doesn't want to leave him anything inside because he's been pulling the ball so well. So he tried to leave that one outside, just missed too much.
2 outs with nobody on and a 2-2 count to Trey Cruz. The pitch just a hair outside. Probably would have been a strike call from last game's home plate umpire Tom Carey.
True.
Just goes to show the nuances between umpires. Full count now to Cruz. Doesn't walk all that much. The payoff pitch, ground ball right side, right at the first baseman Wold. He fields it himself. A 3 unassisted putout for the final out of the inning. Down go the doors in order. We will head to the top of the second inning. Yarmouth Dennis leading Falmouth 2-0.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/bloodcenter.
Back in action here at the Gov as we head to the top of the second inning. Yarmouth Dennis already leading 2-0 thanks to a 2-run double off the bat of Jack Wold. That came with 2 outs. Now it'll be the bottom of the order. Jake Palmer, Gavin Dugas, and Drew Swift set to do the hitting against Nick Nastrini.
And these are guys who did not play in Game 1, Palmer, Dugas, and Swift. Interesting to also see some of the defensive changes that Scott Pickler made with YD as the first pitch misses outside. Especially Riley King is now at third base. Seen a few guys at the hot corner.
Here's the 1-0, misses low, 2-0. We saw King start out in right field in Game 1,
Right.
then move to third base.
Right.
So it seems like he's like a Tim Tawa who can play all over the place. 2-0 the count to the left-handed swinging Palmer. 2-0 popped up in the air towards the left side. Moretto giving chase. He's now at the YD bullpen, and we'll watch it sit out of play. Jake Palmer from UC Irvine, a rising junior for the Anteaters they are, aren't they?
Yep, that's right.
Originally from El Segundo, California. Was a 2-time All-State in the state of California. A pretty good baseball state. Here's the 2-1 from Nastrini. Breaking ball at the knees. Strike number 2. Talk about like an all-California
It's
matchup
crazy.
all day long.
Yeah.
If you had to make a cross-country flight then you deserve to be playing in this ball game, evidently.
Right. You just got to show your boarding pass to the coach, and then you're in the lineup.
Nastrini fighting back from 2-0. Here's the 2-2. Fastball in on the hands, popped up into shallow center field. Tawa is there. He makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Seen a lot of guys play center for the Doors as well. Blake Dunn, Austin Langworthy's been out there. I believe Zach Deloach in one of his first starts was playing center last week.
First one.
And that's something I was going to bring up in Game 1, but Zach Deloach was 4 for 4 and had his best game of the summer by far. Talk about a turnaround from a week ago.
Yeah.
Because in the doubleheader against Harwich, he really struggled.
First pitch to Gavin Dugas is taken for a strike. He had an error, could have been 2.
Well,
a couple strikeouts
correct,
against him.
Yeah.
Real forgettable day for Deloach and a forgettable day for the Doors as a whole. They got swept out of the doubleheader in Harwich. 0-1 skips in the dirt to Dugas, an LSU Tiger. Recent arrival onto the Cape for YD. It's only his first at-bat of the summer.
Yeah, Dugas didn't get that much time for LSU this year. Only 43 at-bats. He batted 186.
1-1 is blasted into left field, but way foul. Another high pitch from Nastrini, so gets away with one there. We saw a bunch of high pitches from him in the first inning that sat way high, were taken for balls. That one was letter high, and boy, if Dugas was a little bit later on it, he could have put it way out of the ballpark.
Definitely. He's got a lot of power as well. Handful of extra base hits this year.
Nastrini's 1-2. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Another great speedy pitch with 2 strikes, and it's the third swinging strikeout of the game for Nick Nastrini.
And that, again, I don't know what exactly that pitch is. We'd have to ask him after, but it definitely had some downward action to it.
Yeah.
And Dugas ended up on his knee after that pitch, and the second strikeout by Nastrini with that same pitch. I believe he got iced the first time with it in the first inning.
I'm going to start calling it a sinker. It's got too much velocity to be a changeup.
Right.
Fastball paints the outside black to Drew Swift. And it's so rare that you see a college pitcher with a sinker. It kind of seems like a pitch that is starting to die a little bit in the college ranks.
Sure.
But you know that plenty of major league pitchers who have it are so dominant with it. 0-1 dives low. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Home plate umpire Brian Troop making the call himself. So it's quickly 0-2 to Swift, the Arizona State Sun Devil playing shortstop.
Making Swift work at the bottom of the order.
All right, we each get one.
I had to get back at you for the Legend one, Game 1.
0-2 from Nastrini. Fastball outside.
Watching Clonch and Nastrini throw back and forth, there's some great pops in the mitts. The mitts are popping today. Because that fastball hits Clonch's mitt, it really has got some velo, you can tell, just by the sound.
Nastrini from the windup lifts and fires home the 1-2 down in the zone. And I think you need to make a trip out west and go to a couple Pac-12 baseball games.
Yeah.
Because you seem kind of fascinated by the Pac-12.
Well,
you're really impressed by them, and rightfully so. They're very talented.
Yeah, I mean, I look at programs like UCLA and Stanford, first two that come to my mind, and they are just powerhouses.
2-2 somehow hits the outside black. Tough call to take by Drew Swift. That one looked a little bit low. Instead, it's a punch-out, the 4th strikeout of the game for Nick Nastrini, and he bounces back after a rough first with a 1-2-3 second. We'll head to the home half of the second, 2-0 YD.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves. The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' best restaurant for takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Bottom 2 at Gov Fuller Field. Falmouth Commodores trailing the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox 2-0. First inning, Falmouth went down in order. Now it'll be up to the heart of the order. Zach DeLoach, Stephen Moretto, Blake Dunn, 4, 5, and 6 to try to get to Carlos Lamelli.
I feel like not as much pop in this lineup for the Commodores. Langworthy, who hit some balls really hard in game 1, is getting a breather, at least to start game number 2.
First pitch to DeLoach is a beautiful slider that maybe misses a tad low.
But Moretto, who hasn't played in a while because it's been Tim Tawa out there at third base, even in those games where we started playing earlier this week, he might have a little rust.
Steven has definitely cemented himself as a very formidable defensive third baseman. Now it's just a matter of if the bat can start catching up to his fielding prowess. 2-0 to DeLoach paints the inside corner. DeLoach had maybe the game of his career. I mean, how often can you say you went 4 for 4 in a wood bat league against the nation's top talent?
Yeah.
Even if it is just summer ball. He went 4 for 4, 3 singles and a double, including 2 RBIs. 2-1 breaking ball misses low.
You know he was a pitcher in high school, too?
Seems like a lot of guys were 2-way.
Yeah. 2.02 ERA at Hebron High School in Texas. It's not bad.
The 3-1 takes a big hack at a pitch that was right down the middle, but he fouls it away.
Last summer, he was in the Northwoods League as well. They have metal bats in the Northwoods, correct?
I thought it was wood.
It might be.
I thought most summer leagues
Okay.
were wood.
323 average out in Wisconsin.
Payoff pitch, line drive towards the hole. That's fielded on a backhand at second base by Dugas. Throw into first. Just in time to get the out at first base. Zach DeLoach was able to get on base with an infield hit last game, his first time up. An RBI single he beat out. This time, not so lucky.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought it was going to sneak to the right of Gavin Dugas out in second base. But he got there in a hurry, and it still was a close play at first base, but the right call by Labella.
DeLoach is quick.
Yeah, he is.
Very quick.
Got down in a hurry. So I was talking about the defensive changes, right? And I think the most notable is Austin Wells' catching.
Oh my goodness.
And he was out in left field last game.
Fly ball off the bat of Stephen Moretto. That one's deep. Back is Eister. He's at the track, at the wall, and he will make the grab about 2 to 3 steps in front of the left field fence. Stephen Moretto gives a drive into that baseball, but he comes up just short.
Really hard hit ball. He just got a little bit under it, kind of an uppercut. That's what caused it to hang in the air. Otherwise, that would have been a similar home run like Trey Cruz's in the same direction. Eister doing a good job tracking that ball. And a loud out.
Ball number 1 sits outside to Blake Dunn, who had a sneaky good game himself in game number 1. Blake had a couple of hits, both of them singles, both of them good for RBIs, and then had 2 more sacrifice flies after that in his next 2 ABs. So he went 2 for 2 with 4 ribbies.
Yeah, and that's why he bumped up in the batting order, right? He's back up to 6.
A stolen base to boot. 1-1 is lined over towards short, and a beautiful sliding grab on a line by Swift. Drew Swift settling in to shortstop nicely as it's another 1-2-3 inning worked by Lamelli. The doors go down in order. We will go to the top of the third. 2-0 score on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' best restaurant for takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a proud sponsor of today's game. I cannot get through that one, man.
You're 0 for 2 so far.
Caterpillar.
You've got only like 25 more chances,
I know.
So I'm sure you'll get.
Well, I mean, it's down from like 50, which is what you said last time. You were like, oh, you got 50 more chances, so it's cut in half.
Well, we're starting to lose baseball games.
I know. This is true.
We will begin the top of the third inning with the Doors losing 2-0. It'll be the top of the order who did all the damage in the first inning against Nick Nastrini. Beasley, Campbell, and Wells. It was Campbell with a single, Wells with a walk, who both scored the runs off of a double from Jack Wold, the 5-hitter. Beasley struck out swinging his first time up. First pitch he sees from Nastrini, breaking ball on the inside corner. That thing is a beauty.
Yeah, it's really good.
Looks like a 12-6 curveball out the hand, and it has beautiful drop to it. Here's Nastrini's 0-1. Fastball in the outside corner. Not much you can do after you just saw maybe a 75-mile-an-hour curveball inside.
Yeah, it's that versatility which is what makes him so lethal.
The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Brad Beasley goes down without a whimper for the second time in as many chances. Both of them swinging strikeouts.
University of South Carolina, Columbia, number 14.
And now already 5 Ks for Nastrini.
5 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings pitched. A great debut for Nick Nastrini, although he is on the losing side of things so far, trailing 2-0. Noah Campbell, who was the first to get through to Nastrini, will step up to the plate. He had a single. First pitch to the South Carolina Gamecock is taken right down the middle for strike 1. Campbell 0 for 1 a game ago, did not get the start.
Good start to the summer, though. 5 for 9.
0-1 is sliced foul. He's quickly behind 0-2, and Nastrini can't miss right now.
Yeah, he's settling into his groove. He was just missing by just a hair in the first inning. He didn't look bad by any stretch with those 2 runs given up in the first. He was just missing a little bit upstairs, and some of those close pitches which he was trying to place were going a little bit too far in whichever direction he was aiming.
Here's Nick's 0-2. Fastball just a little bit high. First ball of the inning thrown by the UCLA righty. Campbell, a rising junior infielder, originally from Durham, North Carolina. Had 3 great baseball schools to choose from in that region, decided to go a state south. He pokes one into left field. Back is Steven Moretto. He won't be able to make the grab. It rolls right in front of the left fielder, Maisel, and a strong throw into second base ensures that Campbell cannot take 2, but he's aboard with his second single in as many at-bats.
Got 2 of the 3 hits for the Red Sox, and you mentioned it, Danny, tail end of that play. Campbell was not rounding and going into second, but if he did, that was a great throw by Maisel, right on a line to Cantrell at second base. So, smart move by Campbell to not get greedy.
Baseball is a sport where offense is definitely the highlight, and as it should be. And Austin Maisel, I think, gets kind of overshadowed in that department where he may not be as strong offensively as some of these other players, but he's as good defensively as anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got great range in the outfield.
First pitch, check swing. It's off the bat of Wells. Fielded by Radcliffe. He bobbles it and is able to take it to first himself for the second out as Campbell advances to second.
Smart play. I got a little nervous when Radcliffe first fielded that ball because this is his first time starting at first base, and the Commodores, who thought they were going to get Aaron Sabato, a traditional first baseman from UNC, kind of lacks in that department. They don't have a guy who is consistently at first at their school, so they've had a handful of guys play first base. They've had Jackson Coots, Austin Langworthy, Barron Radcliffe, just to name a few. Tyler Ross, who had a couple errors in that game against Wareham.
Just trying to plug anybody into that hole and see who sticks. First pitch to Andrew Eister is taken outside. He struck out swinging his last time up.
And also I've noticed Nastrini is now mixing up that first pitch, right? He's not doing first pitch fastball because he saw how the Red Sox were ready for it in that first inning. Especially now that you're seeing these guys a second time through, you got to be thinking a little bit more ahead.
1-0. Lifted into shallow left field off a broken bat. That one's going to die right in front of Austin Maisel. He's going to think about throwing home. Instead, he's just going to go to second base with it. It is a bloop single and an RBI for Andrew Eister. I think the broken bat ensured that it was going to fall.
Yeah, I couldn't exactly see it, Austin Maisel's path off the bat. But when I looked up, it was just well shy of him, and I didn't know if he knew it was going to die that quickly because it looked like he was waiting back in left field by his traditional position.
First pitch to Jack Wold is a fastball just a hair outside. Wold had the 2-run double with 2 outs his last time up. Put YD ahead 2-0. Now after the bloop RBI single for Meister, it's 3-0 Red Sox. 1-0, sits high, 2-0. Jack Wold, a native of Henderson, Nevada, rising sophomore at UNLV. Coming off of a season where he hit .340 with 6 home runs and 32 RBIs. Here's the 2-0. Popped up towards the left side. Will it stay playable? It looks like it will for Steven Moretto in foul territory. He makes the grab, and that's the third and final out of the inning. But YD plates another. They score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the home third, 3-0 YD.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Our own Katie Florio, our sideline reporter, got to talk to Trey Cruz about how great his season has been after it started. He started out 1 for 8, improved so mightily since then, and he's been racking up the RBIs. Katie, what did Trey have to say?
Thanks, guys. And Trey has really been in such a groove lately. He's finally found that groove. He's been so consistent at the top of the lineup. And he told me that when he first came in here, he was really speeding things up. It took him a minute to find that groove because the competition here is so much better, the pitching so much better. But then he started slowing things down. He simplified his approach. He took a deep breath, and that's when he's really hit his stride. He also told me that he's very comfortable from both sides of the plate. Now, we've seen more at-bats from the left side, so really has more rhythm there. But guys, just in the last game, we saw that home run from the right side, so I would say he's on no matter what.
Thank you so much, Katie. So rhythm from the left side for Trey Cruz, but he still hits the home run from the right side, so pretty good.
And I think a lot of it is he's gotten most of his at-bats as a lefty because he's faced more righty pitchers, right? I think he's just hitting, like Hayden Cantrell, on whatever side of the plate is opposite of the pitcher, because he got the home run off of the lefty pitcher in Legend Smith.
A couple of sliders start off Barron Radcliffe. 1 hits the inside corner, 1 misses outside. So Trey Cruz, as Katie was saying, he's been looking great from both sides of the plate. He's more comfortable from the left side, but like you said, it's only a matter of time. He just got to get more reps in from the right side of the plate. Now it's 2-1 to Barron Radcliffe. Radcliffe is yet to really get comfortable too much on the Cape. He started out 2 for 9. The 2-1 to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket misses low. Now a friendly hitters count 3-1. Falmouth yet to get a base runner. They retired in order in both the first and the second. Keep in mind a 7-inning game because this is a doubleheader, so we're pretty much near the halfway point. 3-1, loped into right field. That one will fall for a hit, and it's going to roll into right field before cut off, by Palmer. It looked like he was going to roll to the wall, but Jake Palmer in right got there in a hurry and made sure that Radcliffe could only stay one.
And Radcliffe, again, another example of a guy who wasn't in the lineup, so it all of a sudden raises the stakes for everybody else. He's been swinging a good bat, Danny. Earlier today, he was mashing in BP. I mean, he had probably 5 bombs out of 8 pitches over the right field fence. He was absolutely destroying the ball. He's starting to see it better, hard contact, like the one there.
I mean, the guy's a behemoth.
He's so big.
He's enormous out there. He had a couple of D1 football offers. He was a quarterback in high school. First pitch thrown to Troy Clonch is a breaking ball in the outside corner. Our own Max Trank, our web reporter, he's writing a feature on him. Stay tuned to the Commodores Corner on the blog on our website, falmouthcommodores.com, for that. But a little sneak peek is that Barron had an offer from Ohio State to be their quarterback.
That's crazy.
Clonch with a chopper towards the left side. It's foul. 0-2 is the count to the Oregon State catcher. But he decided that in high school he wanted to stick to baseball. But imagine that. I mean, that's not just is it a D1 football offer, but it's like the premier D1 school.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a top 5 program in the country.
Yeah,
consistently.
Barron instead playing for another top 5 program in the country, this time in baseball.
That was a good one.
Georgia Tech sat at number 4 once the postseason came around. 0-2 to Clonch is upstairs.
Clonch had a tough game in the first. I think you were about to say the same thing.
Yeah, I was just about to get to it. You got it.
He was 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, reached once on an error. Hit the ball really well in those 2 practice games, we'll call them, against Hyannis and Wareham, so just has to get back into that rhythm.
Fastball misses outside, evens up the count. Well, that's what I was going to say is that he started off so good. Right. And then earlier today in game number 1, it's like all of it evaporated.
I mean, it happens, right? It's baseball. Not every game are you going to be super consistent. You'll have your ones where you're seeing the ball well and face some better pitching against YD.
That's good for a base hit up the middle, past the diving glove of Dugas into center field. So Troy Clonch, in the 2 rain-away games, he had a couple of hits. Those get washed away. He comes into today 0 for 0, starts out 0 for 4 in game number 1. Now he's 1 for 1 after that first single of the summer for Clonch.
And before this 3rd inning, Danny, Lamelli was perfect. Yeah. I mean, he went 3 up, 3 down in the first and second inning. And the thing that I like about Lamelli is he's been pounding the strike zone. Really hasn't gotten into many 3-ball counts. And he's forced his defense to make plays, right? He forces the hitters to swing the bat. And we saw a couple loud outs like that fly ball to Eister out in left field to get the second out of that second inning. He's not scared to just pound the strike zone and make the hitters beat him.
Austin Maisel shows bunt, and he pulls it back. Seen a lot of first-pitch sliders from Carlos Lamelli. Seems like the breaking ball is what he wants to go to more often than not to start off these hitters, try to keep them off balance. 3-0 ball game with the tying run at home plate for the Doors in the 3rd and nobody out. Maisel, the rising senior from Holy Cross, waiting a long time for this pitch, shows bunt again, pulls it back again, and he takes ball 2.
Yeah, Maisel's first start in over a week now. And he's itching to get out there like the rest of the guys, but now a handful of outfielders who are on this roster. Now 6 with guys like Tim Tawa and Deloach coming to town.
The 2-0 cracked right at the shortstop Swift. He was waiting there, didn't have to move a muscle. He was the one holding on Radcliffe, and unluckily for Maisel, put it right into his awaiting glove. And the runners will stay at first and second.
Playing at double play depth right by the bag so that he and Gavin Dugas at second base could turn too if it was on the ground. Unluckily for Maisel, that one might have scooted into the outfield if he was at normal shortstop position.
Back to the top of the lineup we go. Hayden Cantrell, who flew out to center in the first inning, will get to go again. First pitch to Cantrell is taken on the outside corner. Another breaking ball. It's just breaking ball after breaking ball to start off these hitters.
He's he's an interesting pitcher. I mentioned that low arm slot. From his windup, he has a little hitch in his motion. He's got a little pause that can throw off the hitters as well.
0-1 misses low and outside. Cantrell off to a pretty good start this season. He's batting .285 coming in to today. Of course, in game number 1, he went 0 for 2 with a couple of hit-by pitches. Hayden's been very streaky as well. He started the season on a 3-game hit streak, then went hitless in 3 straight, then had that awesome game against Wareham. Trying to recreate that Monday game. Here's the 1-1, and it misses just a hair outside.
Be interesting to see how these first 6 batters do in their second at-bat against Lamelli. Cantrell working a longer count here in the third.
He only saw 2 pitches his first time up before he sent the second one into center field. Here's the 2-1. Fastball lifted into left field. That one's back at the wall, and that one's going to one-hop the wall. Coming around to score is Barron Radcliffe. Going first to third is Troy Claunch, and Hayden Cantrell gets the Doors on the board with an RBI double.
Great piece of contact again. Hayden Cantrell, Trey Cruz continue to be outstanding. Cantrell did not have a hit in game 1, but he had a sacrifice bunt to move the runners over. He's hit by a pitch twice in the first and the fifth. That one he just lifted into the opposite field. Again, when you have guys throwing at higher velocities, you don't have to do as much work to have it carry a long distance, and you can see with that one, it just kept carrying.
That's what I was thinking. It seems like balls hit out to left field just keep on carrying. I'm looking at the flagpole, and the wind is kind of blowing out towards
slight,
that direction.
yeah.
But that was a lazy, not, I don't want to say lazy swing, but it was kind of not the full effort swing from Cantrell, and it still went a whole long ways off the end of the bat too.
And from my understanding, that's what you're supposed to do when you hit it opposite field, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go full swing and you're trying to have that big follow through, you're going to be pulling the ball. It's going to sort of die, and then you won't get as much of a hit, right? So if you're going opposite field, you just kind of let it go in that direction and don't do your full swing.
Hayden definitely a slap-happy hitter. Traditionally, those guys are singles guys. That one was good for a double. Here's a pop-up from Tim Tawa, and this won't get the run home. Way too shallow in center field. The catch is made by Swift, the shortstop, and that's the second out of the inning. Both runners will have to remain in their spots.
Now batting, the shortstop from Rice University, number
Yeah, he
2,
just got way under that one.
Cruz.
And Tawa with a ground out in the first. Had 1 hit in game 1, but otherwise has been kind of stymied here today.
Trey Cruz, who grounded out to first his last time up, now with a chance to do some damage with the tying run on second base. Cruz represents the go-ahead run. Showed off the home run power last game. First pitch he sees, another off speed, and it paints the outside black.
One thing I was going to say, and I wasn't going to say it first because this is kind of minor, I don't know if Radcliffe touched third base. He was going so fast because he didn't know if that ball was going to be caught, so he was in between second and third, and as soon as it landed, he got on his horse, and the third base umpire in Tom Carney was looking out towards the outfield as opposed to third base, so I don't know if he might have got away with one. We'll have to ask.
Well, no appeal from Lamelli. We can go back in our live stream once the game is over, check it out if that is the case.
Just speculation. I was looking at it, though, and I didn't see much contact.
Here's Lamelli's 1-1. Big hack taken by Trey Cruz, but he fouls it away. That was a hanger, and I think he was trying to yank it into right field, just a little bit out ahead of it.
And Cruz again batting as a lefty, which he's done more, as our sideline reporter Katie said at the start of this half inning, because he's up against another righty hitter. I think it's really that simple, and unless there's some sort of change or they want to see the same pitcher from another side of the plate.
The 1-2 to Cruz on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Went with the fastball, and he painted it beautifully. The Doors go down after scoring 1 run on 3 hits. No errors, and they strand 2 runners in scoring position. We go to the top of the 4th. It's 3-1 YD.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
New pitcher for the Commodores in the top of the fourth inning. It'll be Justin Robleski, the left-hander from Clemson University.
He's a guy who also pitched in relief in that Hyannis game on June 14th. As that one is waved by Riley King way behind that fastball. And Robleski also struggled, kind of like Maldonado, who came in and redeemed himself in game one. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 earned runs on 3 hits.
Second pitch of the AB is lined over towards second base. Hayden Cantrell makes a nice one-hop grab and throws on to first on a run to retire Riley King. 2 pitches and 1 out for Robleski.
Cantrell just looks so loose out there.
Yeah.
And I know last year we kind of got on him a little bit when it caused some errors, but I think that's just his style of play. And it hasn't really hurt him defensively as much this year. He has not made nearly the same amount of mistakes as early last season, but
the mechanics
just kind of prancing around.
Yeah.
And like
the
he's
mechanics
just very
are
loose.
there,
Yeah.
even though he's loose and kind of stylish.
Yeah.
Inside-out job by Jake Palmer goes foul. He flew out to center field his last time up. Nick Nestrini's day is done, and despite the run count, he did allow 3 runs on 4 hits. He had a good game. I mean, his stuff looked really good. He threw 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. It was just the first inning where some damage was really done to him on a big double, and then they got to him again in the third with a bloop single. 1-1, beautiful breaking ball by Robleski. Showing bunt was Palmer, but he had no chance.
Yeah, I thought it was a good outing from Nestrini. Not his best. I'm sure he'll come out and be even better later in the season, but 3 earned runs. His fastball just has so much zip to it, and some of his off speed is just lethal.
1-2 breaking ball misses a little bit outside. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Palmer, who is now 1 for 10 to start his summer. Trying to improve that stat line, keep himself in the lineup every day. We talk about how the Commodores have so many deserving players and not a lot of spots. Well, that's just about every team has that as well, YD being one of them, as this is fouled back.
Yeah, 307 average his sophomore year, 298 his freshman year. Second on the team in OBP as a freshman is pretty impressive.
He was hit 13 times as a freshman. 2-2. Just below the knees. Definitely has a good eye.
And YD has some small guys. They got guys who pack a punch. I mean, we saw it in game 1 with Wyatt Young, the 5'7" second baseman. This guy right here, Jake Palmer, he was only 5'10".
Couple of 5'10" guys on that infield. Breaking ball too far inside. It was a big hook from Robleski, but it did not break enough. A walk worked out by Jake Palmer, and there's a runner on with 1 out.
only had one walk his first time out against Hyannis, but a walk after getting one out here in the 4th inning. And I wonder how much of Nestrini's quick pull is to get some of these relievers some time.
Yeah, because like we mentioned last game, nobody has been really able to pitch all that much. First pitch swinging is Gavin Dugas. He fouls it back, except maybe Javin Drake, who has now since been released. But he had 2 appearances in about a week's time. Otherwise, you got a bunch of guys who only pitched once over a 10-day span.
Yeah, and I'm looking through the pitching rotation, or at least the arms available for the Commodores right now, and pretty much everyone has pitched more than once. A couple who haven't. Thomas Gerard, who's going to be a starter with the Commodores, has not towed the rubber yet. Robert Alstrom, reliever, came in last week for the first time, as did Caleb Worster.
One fouled back, another fastball in on the hands that Dugas is just able to fight back. He struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning, the only inning that Nestrini pitched in which he did not allow a run.
But I guess I was counting in second appearances those erased games. So Majinski, Alemon, and Weatherly technically have not pitched more than once.
Wroblewski's 0-2, the runner goes. It's a high fastball that's fouled away towards the right side, and Falmouth gets away with one because that was a great jump by Palmer.
Yeah, playing right field. He's got some speed. Hasn't been on the base paths nearly as much this season, as you mentioned, but he worked a walk. Probably trying to take advantage.
Dugas, a Louisiana native, played his summer ball last year in the Prospects League with the Danville Dans. I like that name.
That is a good one.
0-2, runner goes. Throw down to second, and Palmer takes the bag with ease. He's now going to try to go to third as the ball gets behind Cantrell. The throw to third. In time, they got him. Beautiful throw out in center field by Tim Tawa, as he is showing that he is a great, great fielder at wherever position you put him.
Yeah, what a crazy play. That throw from Clonch was a little bit to the right, and Cantrell, he tried to keep that foot on the bag so that when he reached out and grabbed it, he would be able to swipe where Palmer was sliding, but in a hurry was Tawa, delivered a strike, and Moretto with the tag at third.
So now there are 2 outs and 2 strikes against Dugas as he fouls that one aside. So officially that goes down as a stolen base, an E2, and then an 8-5 put out at third base.
Yep.
No balls and 2 strikes to Dugas. Here's the pitch from Wroblewski. Ball 1 just low. Bases have now been cleared after that play. The 1-2, swung on and missed in the dirt. Tag applied by Clonch. He gets it with some force, and that will do it for the top of the 4th. The Doors get their second out over at third base, sandwiched around a ground out and a strikeout, and we will head to the bottom of the 4th, Falmouth trailing 3-1.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official bat and glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back to Go Fuller Field. Bottom 4 we go. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzenowski here in the broadcast booth in Falmouth, Massachusetts. 3-1 score in favor of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. They dropped Game 1 to the Commodores 9-6, trying to split the doubleheader on the road. First pitch is another slider to Zach DeLoach on the outside corner. I'm pretty sure all 6 batters who came up to the plate in the third for the Doors all saw first pitch sliders.
Yeah.
If I'm right, that would make it 7 in a row after that first pitch to DeLoach. Here's a fastball and a pop fly into left field. Coming on in and making the grab with plenty of ease is Eister. 2 pitches and 1 out.
Top of the order, struggling a little bit the first time through. Hitters 1 through 4 a combined 1 for 8. Only hit was last inning. Cantrell with a double that scored Barron Radcliffe.
Steven Moretto will come to the plate for his second chance. He flew out to left his last time up. Moretto, who plays his baseball at Sacramento State, swings the first pitch fastball and no dice.
That had some movement as well because he has that, again, low arm slot as a righty, coming into a righty, but it sort of tailed back. It looked like it was going to come across, and it went down the middle of the plate.
That's another one
See
of those.
that?
And looking out of his hand, I saw spin right away.
Right.
It looked like he's kind of towing it like it's a two-seam fastball, and then the way he throws it with that arm slot brings it
Got
back.
some wicked movement.
Here's the 0-2 fastball fouled. Nope, not fouled in and out of the glove. It's just straight up dropped by Wells. He gets over to it, taking his time.
Yeah, he was moseying over there.
But he got Moretto at first anyway. It's a 3-pitch strikeout for Steven Moretto, and quickly there are 2 outs in the fourth.
And Moretto was the guy who probably hit Lomelli the hardest the first time through with that high drive into left field. And, I mean, Lomelli won that battle, and he won it big time. I mean, those 3 pitches were dirty.
Yeah. Here's the first pitch to Blake Dunn with 2 outs and nobody on. Breaking ball that looked way outside, but it's called a strike. Dunn lined out to short to end the second inning. It was 4, 5, and 6 in the second. They went down in order, trying to avoid doing just that here in the fourth, but not a great start. It's quickly 0-2 to Dunn.
Lomelli's been great, man, keeping the pitch count low. He's only thrown 52 pitches now, 33 for strikes.
Here's the 0-2 fouled back. We know with Pickler, seeing what he did with Vanderkoy before, it might be Lomelli the entire game. He loves to ride his starters.
I mean, Lomelli had a big workload his sophomore year as well. He had 88 2/3 innings pitched, 58 Ks. Last summer, he was in the Cal Ripken League with the Bethesda Big Train.
0-2 from Lomelli to Dunn, down in the dirt.
He had a 1.76 ERA last summer, a 4-1 record. This kid's good. I mean, from St. Mary's College, and this is the sort of stage that you need if you're a guy from sort of that mid-major to get the attention of the scouts who are definitely at these games.
The 1-2 to Dunn. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Dropped by Wells behind home plate. Dunn doesn't even try to run down to first. He's frustrated with that call. It's back-to-back strikeouts worked by Lomelli and another 1-2-3 inning against the middle of the lineup. We go to the top of the fifth. This game moving quickly. 3-1 YD.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
We go to the fifth with the YD Red Sox leading the Falmouth Commodores by a score of 3-1. Drew Swift set to lead things off for Yarmouth Dennis. He's 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout. Then it'll be back to the top of the lineup, who have already gotten 2 chances against Doors pitching. Justin Robleski back out for another inning of work. First pitch he throws is a curveball that misses just a tad outside to Swift.
So Robleski faced the minimum in the fourth, but kind of in weird fashion. as he walked Jake Palmer, who then stole a base and was thrown out on an outfield putout by Tim Tawa.
Is that our first outfield assist we've seen all season?
Yeah.
It comes from Tawa, who
Yeah.
we haven't seen a lot of.
It's
in the
got a
outfield.
laser, man.
Yeah. 1-1 misses inside. Tim only got his first appearance just last game. It was in the infield, and then they move him out to outfield, and he's just as formidable there.
In the couple times that I watched Stanford this year, he played right field a little bit. As that one's fouled back into the screen, but yeah, because he's played middle infield, I believe, as well.
He played a lot of shortstop.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah.
And he designated hit for the Cardinal as well.
We were debating between each other on the media team, like, is he an outfielder?
Right,
or an
like where does he
infielder?
play? Yeah.
And he just seems to play everywhere. He can be slotted into just about any position. Because we thought that he was coming onto the outfield, and that that outfield was going to get even tighter. Then we were told no, he played shortstop a lot.
Right, and it's not like there's a lot of room at shortstop for the Commodores either.
4 shortstops that they could throw out there between Cruz, Cantrell, Kendall, and Tawa. 2-2 the count to Drew Swift. It was a 2-2 count that he struck out looking on in the second. Here's the pitch from Robleski. Downstairs, ball 3. It's 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Yarmouth Dennis. 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error for Falmouth. Pretty similar games for both of them. 3-2 lifted towards the right side into foul ground, and that one will go up on the berm out of play. It was just YD delivering with runners on base. They've only stranded 2 runners on. Meanwhile, the Doors also 2 runners on, but it came in a much bigger fashion with both of them in scoring position in the same inning. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. A high ched from Justin Robleski gets Swift chasing, and he's now 0 for 2 with 2 Ks.
7 strikeouts combined for Nostrini and Robleski. This is a Doors pitching staff that hadn't struck out a ton of batters. Granted, they'd played a couple less games than some other teams, but 48 Ks, which was 10th in the Cape League, heading into today.
Ball number 1 skips in the dirt to Brad Beasley, who's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks himself. From Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, a rising senior from San Leandro, California. Here's the 1-0. Floats it towards the right side, foul yet again.
Yeah, Beasley's had a tough second game with 2 strikeouts. First game was a little better. He struck out once and had that double.
He fouls another one towards the right side, so Robleski getting a couple of late swings from Beasley as he's just trying to fight off a couple of pitches. He quickly falls behind 1 and 2. Now it's a good pitcher's count. The pitch from Robleski, fastball down and in. Not close enough. Claunch with a great frame job, but it's called a little bit low. Noah Campbell waits on deck. He's 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. The pitch, ball 3.
Can we talk inflated stats real quick?
Yeah.
Justin Robleski coming into this outing. 2/3 of an inning pitch, 3 earned runs. That's a 40.3 ERA.
Foul back into the screen, a hard fastball, maybe even harder swing from Beasley. And the thing is that in a summer league where you maybe only get 15 innings pitched,
Right.
that might not go down that much.
Right.
He can go and shove the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch yet again. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Beautiful backdoor curve from Robleski, and he's got 2 strikeouts to start out the 5th.
He looks really good right now. And Danny, you mentioned it, right? Like if he pitches 14 shutout innings, his ERA is, I think, about a 2.5.
So good, but
So it's right, but
he just threw 14
right.
straight.
And he probably won't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard, it's tough to do that.
Yeah. Well, so far so good for him, as just like Aiden Maldonado, he has responded well in his second appearance. Throws another breaking ball for a strike at the knees of Noah Campbell.
Yeah, and these are guys who are jacked up to pitch as well. Sort of that antsiness that we were talking about from Mike Landry's pitching staff.
0-1 looks like a changeup that's cut on and missed, skipped in the dirt, but Campbell was still fooled.
But I was talking to Robleski when we were at Hyannis, and he was like, "Yeah, like I don't know what we're gonna do." And he was like, "I've pitched 2/3 of an inning. Like, I want to get out there."
Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. He strikes out the side despite all the rain making him wait. So Justin Robleski looking fantastic in this outing against YD. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, Falmouth still trailing 3-1.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Welcome back to the Gov. We're getting ready for the bottom of the 5th. Only a couple more chances for the Doors to come back against Carlos Lamelli, who looks just as sharp as ever. Falmouth trailing 3-1. Let's take a look at around some other scores across the Cape League, shall we, David?
Let's do it. First game of the day was Cotuit against Brewster. Kettleers won 5-2. Those were two of the teams at the top of their respective divisions. And the Kettleers won both games. They won 5-2 in game 1, 6-2 in game 2. Cotuit now atop the West Division with a 6-4-1 record. Falmouth obviously winning game 1 against YD 9-6. Hyannis lost game 1, 7-2 to Harwich, but they are winning in game 2, which means if they finish out this with a 6-run lead in the bottom of the 5th, they will get their first win. Orleans beat Wareham 1-0 twice.
Jeez. First pitch to Baron Radcliffe is a strike. That pitching staff for Orleans, I mean,
unbelievable,
come on.
Yeah. Chatham beat Bourne 8-2 after the Bourne Braves got out to a quick 1-0 lead in that one, and they're in the bottom of the 1st in their second matchup right now.
0-1 popped up left side right in front of the YD dugout, and that's going to land in front of the third baseman King and the catcher Wells. Really, either one of them could have stuck out the glove for it and made a catch, but they couldn't track it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough sometimes with the cloud cover and the sun setting. You get some weird shadows here behind home plate and in foul territory.
Carlos Lamelli, who has been dominant to say the least. Only 1 run allowed on 3 hits, trying to get another out, and he just misses outside to Radcliffe. He came into this one in his first appearance, had 5 innings pitched, 5.40 ERA. So he was struck around pretty well, but Falmouth unable to pick up on that. Here's the 1-2. Inside, even count.
And as a result of some of those games we were talking about around the league, really competitive East Division. Orleans, Chatham, and Brewster all with 13 points, tied for tops in the East. And just behind them is Harwich with 12 points. If they lose, they'll stay at 12. If the Yarmouth Dentist gets the win here today, they'll be at 11. So 2 points would separate all 5 teams. Cotuit, on the other hand, now jumps Wareham. They're first in the West Division. Gate men fall to 5-5-1.
Yeah, Cotuit has they seem like they've just been winning at a fervent pace. A team that last year for the majority of the season stuck around the middle of the pack and snuck in as the 4 seed. 2-2 from Lamelli, home to Radcliffe. It misses outside, and after falling behind, no balls to 2 strikes, Baron Radcliffe has worked the count full.
And he's done a lot better with that the later on in the season and the more at-bats he's gotten. He was striking out early and often when he first came to the Cape. But he broke up the perfect game for Lamelli with a hit in the 3rd.
Payoff pitch popped up foul. Bring up early and often that he was striking out. He had 5 strikeouts in his first 9 at-bats. Well, now he's 10, and after this one, 11 at-bats deep, and he's got 3 hits to his ledger, all of them singles. His last single, probably the hardest struck of them all, and he came around to score afterwards. Here's the 3-2 from Lamelli yet again, and another fly ball out into foul territory. Barron is really making Carlos Lamelli work. That's what the Doors need right now as well, because Lamelli had a low pitch count coming into this inning.
Right, he's now at 62 pitches. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and especially when you can't crack the code against a pitcher, got to work long at-bats and try to force a mistake.
Yeah. Nobody warming in the YD pen. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. Baron Radcliffe with 2 fantastic at-bats in game number 2. He reaches base with a walk, and Troy Claunch will be the hitter. Nobody out, and a runner on first.
And he singled his last time up, too. Hitters 7 and 8, reached with a single. Radcliffe came home on the double from Cantrell. This part of the order has given Lamelli trouble with a leadoff walk. You know how lethal that can be. It comes around to score most of the time.
Claunch, who had a single his last time up, was stranded at third. He's 1 for 1. First pitch swinging, chopper towards third. King fields it cleanly, on to second for 1, on to first. High throw. It rolls towards the dugout. And Troy Claunch is going to hold up at first base, as that close fence made it no doubt he should. So Barron Radcliffe is erased from the base paths, and Claunch will replace him after the fielder's choice.
Just not a great throw from Gavin Dugas. He had to field the ball with his glove hand, sort of up and away on the throw from Riley King at third. And then the transfer, he kind of rushed it a little bit. Claunch doesn't have a lot of speed going down the first baseline. I think he could have taken an extra beat to place an accurate throw.
Austin Maisel, who his first time up took a very inside pitch and lined it right at the shortstop Swift, will get his second hacks. He swings the first pitch here, grounds it foul along the first base side, mercifully so for Maisel and company. It would have probably been a double play. Austin Maisel, the senior from Holy Cross, originally from Stoneham, Mass. Still sitting at no RBIs on the season. Has reached base in 3 straight, either with walks or a hit by pitch. The 0-1 from Lamelli. Line drive foul.
Maisel sort of with a soft liner his first time up. And Claunch, that was ruled an error by Dugas, so now an error apiece for the Red Sox and the Commodores.
Still a very evenly matched game. Falmouth just looking for a couple of hits to try to tie it. Here's the 0-2. Line drive into left field, falling fast, and that one will get down. It's a bloop single off the bat of Austin Maisel. He continues his hot summer. He's on first base, Claunch is on second base, and the Doors are back in business.
Now batting, the second baseman from
Yeah, again, another lefty.
Louisiana Lafayette.
Good piece of contact into the opposite field. Didn't try to do too much with it. Now 4 hits apiece for each team. Danny, really the difference in this game was just that top of the first inning. With the double from Jack Wold, that's been the difference.
2 runs came home on that double alone, so it's Jack Wold 2, Falmouth 1 to this point. Hayden Cantrell has the lone RBI for the Doors, and he's at the plate. First pitch he sees from Lamelli, outside, ball 1. Hayden is 1 for 2, a fly out to center, and that RBI double coming off of game 1, where he was, I guess, 0 for 1. A couple of hit by pitches and a sacrifice bunt. He's the go-ahead run at home plate, and he is the team leader in home runs with 2. Cracks this one into center field. Ranging back is Beasley. He's at the track. He's at the wall, and it's over the wall. Do it again, Hayden Cantrell. A 3-run jack off the bat of the Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajun, and the second-year Commodore puts the Doors in the lead.
How about that? Go-ahead grand slam against Wareham on Monday. Go-ahead 3-run home run here in Game 2, and it felt like YD really had a stranglehold on this game. Lamelli was wheeling and dealing, but Hayden Cantrell with a double in the 3rd inning seems to have cracked the code. He pokes it just over the fence in center field. Beasley tried to make a play on it, but it snuck over, and now the 3rd home run of the year for Cantrell.
So I mentioned how it was Jack Wold 2, Falmouth 1 just about 5 seconds ago. Now it's Hayden Cantrell 4 and YD 3. He has all 4 RBIs for the Doors, and it looks like he has just bounced Carlos Lamelli from this ball game. Lamelli was shoving through the first couple of innings, and then Hayden Cantrell decided to do something about it. An RBI double in the 3rd and a 3-run home run in the 5th put the Doors ahead 4-3. Still only 1 out to work with in the 5th. New pitcher coming on for YD. So Lamelli's day will be done after 4 1/3 And after that fourth inning, he looked as sharp as ever.
Yeah.
Another 1-2-3 inning against the heart of the lineup and 2 strikeouts where Moretto and Dunn, who were the strikeout victims, just looked hapless on it. And then, just like that, very next inning, the Doors' bottom of the lineup comes through in the clutch.
And I think, again, we have to go back to the first at-bat from Barron Radcliffe where he works a longer pitch count and works a really good at-bat, draws a walk. Clonch reaches on an error on what could have been a double play. Maisel capitalizes. So really everyone doing things for the Commodores, but Hayden Cantrell has been one of the most present offensive forces for this team.
Chase Smith will come on in relief for YD, and we'll take this time to remind you, go follow us at Falmouth Commodores on Twitter for live game updates if you're ever not watching the stream. Also Instagram, check out our Instagram stories. Can always find live stuff there. Check us out, Falmouth Commodores, on everything online and social media. And Chase Smith from the University of Pittsburgh will be the pitcher, right-hander and a rising junior at 6'2", 185, originally from Marietta, Georgia. He was on the Collegiate Baseball Writers Association Stopper of the Year watch list in the preseason, was Pittsburgh's closer through the first 2 years of his career. And he was used a lot this past year, 33 appearances, which led the team, along with 5 saves, which led the Panthers.
Yeah, he looked good. 4-6 record. Really good strikeout to walk ratio, 17 walks, 55 strikeouts. From Marietta, Georgia, playing his ball with the Panthers. And he comes in with the bases clear, but now Red Sox trying to come from behind.
First pitch comes way outside to Tim Tawa. He's 0 for 2, and I'm sure he's happy that Lamelli is no longer in this ball game. Maybe the only guy who's content with it is Cantrell, who was 2 for 3. Boy, Hayden, I mean, the power from Cantrell is ridiculous compared to last year.
Because, again, he didn't really – I mean, he's got great bat speed, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look like he's, taking home run hacks. It just looks so smooth.
And especially after that double where he kind of just threw the bat head out at it, took
Right.
the ball back where it came from, and put it one hop off the wall.
Right.
And now with a home run to dead center, his 3rd of the year. Here's a chopper towards the left side.
Whoa.
Beautiful pick play by King over at 3rd.
Wow.
Throw on to 1st in time, and Tawa is retired. He got a single stolen from him.
Yeah, what a play by Riley King. I thought that was going to sneak past him and would have been a really tough play for Drew Swift in the hole. But he timed the bounce right and was able to use his momentum. Have a strike of a throw onto Wold. Danny, also with that home run, Cantrell now tied for the league lead in home runs with Austin Wells of YD, TJ Collette of Brewster, and Adam Oviedo of Catuit.
So who would have thunk it was Hayden Cantrell who would be the power guy?
And he's still going to bat leadoff,
Yeah.
right? He's not going anywhere there.
0-1 is the count to Trey Cruz. Swings at that pitch, fouls it back into the dirt. It's 0-2. Cruz was 9 for 16 9 for his last 16, heading into this game. Then grounded out to to first, and then struck out looking. 0 for 2. He was red hot against Wareham, continued that against YD, trying to find another hit here in game 2. The 0-2 misses outside. So Falmouth came into this inning trailing 3-1. They've poured it on. 2 hits, one of them a home run, and 3 runs on the inning alone. Here's the 1-2. Poked the other way and foul. Cruz from Rice, a 2-time draft pick, first by the Houston Astros, then by the Washington Nationals just a couple of weeks ago. 1-2 yet again, spanked into left center field. That one is falling, but into the awaiting mitt of Andrew Eister, the YD left fielder. An F7 on your scorecard will retire the side, but the Doors, they strike for 3. They score 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We will go to the top of the 6th. Falmouth now leading by a score of 4-3.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Welcome into the broadcast booth. Danny LaRose, he's David Korzanowski. In between us, Chris Gonzalez, the left-handed pitcher out of Stetson, who was the starter in Game 1 against YD. You didn't get the win, but the team got the win, so it's got to feel good, Chris.
Oh, yeah, it really does. I mean, that's obviously the main thing here, just winning ball games for Falmouth. But, no, it was definitely a team effort. Honestly, I want to say we scored 9 runs, was it? 9-7?
9-6.
I mean, if you score 9 runs in a 7-inning game, pitching staff would be able to hold up for you. So that was really good.
So how's the start to the season been, both on the field, off, adjusting to Cape life and all that?
It's been really fun, both on and off. Obviously, this whole week it's rained all week,
right.
So that's been tough. But the games that we've had, we've definitely had a lot of fun. Just with the guys and with our coaches and stuff, we just had a lot of fun on and off the field.
So you're a Miami native playing at DeLand for Stetson.
Yeah.
How's the weather difference?
From here?
Too cold?
It's not that bad today. Played during the day, so it got a little bit of heat today, which was nice. But I definitely love the weather up here. Kind of enjoying it.
Been to the beach yet?
I have twice.
Really?
Yes.
Twice.
The water's cold, but
when and where did you go?
I went to Old Silver Beach.
Okay.
That's a team favorite.
Yeah, water was cold, but it was a good experience.
Did you go with some of the other guys?
Yeah, we probably had like 10 to 15 of our team out there just hanging out a couple hours after practice. So yeah.
Sweet.
Robbie Ahlstrom is going to come on in relief for Justin Robleski, who was fantastic in his 2 innings of work. Did not allow a hit and struck out 4. Now it'll be Ahlstrom for his second appearance from Oregon. He's up against the heart of the order for Yarmouth Dennis. First pitch breaking ball misses outside.
I'm always really interested to ask. We've had a couple guys up here. Franco, we had Carmen, Sam Strickland have joined us in the broadcast booth, getting a pitcher's take on another pitcher. So have you watched Robbie at all? And if so, what have you noticed about his game?
Well, this is my second time watching him now.
Right.
And I mean, what I've seen, he likes to attack, pitches to contact, which for us lefties is big. But yeah, he attacks the strike zone. He's not afraid to make a mistake and let the defense work.
3.93 ERA in his sophomore year at Oregon, a 5-7 record. It's a starter for the Ducks, who pitched 73 1/3 innings.
So, Chris, I talked to you a little bit at Field Crew a couple weeks back, and something I learned is that Chris Gonzalez loves Field Crew.
Really?
Yeah.
You know how to work a mound, and you kind of had some passion for it.
Yeah. I mean, I take pride in it. I take pride in anything I do, really. But I've learned these last 2 years down at Stetson. We have a really good groundskeeper. He was in pro ball, and he's kind of just taught us how to take pride in the field, how to take care of it, and I've kind of brought that here. Tried my best on working on the mounds, trying to get it as best as possible.
What have you learned?
I mean, just everything about it, just leveling it.
Okay.
I don't know, putting.
Do you feel that? Do you feel that does the dirt have to be a certain consistency and stuff? This stuff interests me. I don't, because I have no idea.
I guess just getting the whole mound leveled and consistent
Okay.
could be tough. Or even today, with a doubleheader, just trying to get it
Right.
through 14 innings is also big. But the holes after the games usually tell you how the game went, and if it held up, that's good. That's a good day.
So what I noticed from my long and illustrious career in Little League Baseball was that you get those, is it softer spots sort of by the mound and the landing spot by the end of the game?
Yeah. So, obviously, the most important part is to keep that as hard as possible, pretty
Okay.
much, try to get it as consistent. But, if it's soft towards the end of the game, it's usually not a good thing. And so, the less of a hole it is, usually, again, it's usually a good day for the pitching staff. That
Right.
means not many guys were used.
Got it. That's interesting.
Yeah, usually when there's more guys on the mound, you'll see a bigger hole.
Right.
Because everyone just pitches from a different spot.
And they do, land
Most,
different spots
most
and all that,
importantly,
sure.
have any of your teammates complained about it to you?
They haven't.
So nobody's blamed you yet.
No, that's a good sign.
1-1 from Ahlstrom after he worked a looking strikeout against Austin Wells. Settles in. Beautiful breaking ball to make it 1-2 against Eister. So
Ahlstrom's had one appearance, and it was last week against Harwich, and he looked good.
How have you felt coming out, and we were talking about it a little bit before we got on the mics, going up against this top talent across the country? How have you felt in your first 2 starts on the Cape?
Well, first off, I've definitely seen that I can definitely compete. I know, I guess I belong here, which is great, but these hitters are really good, obviously, and what I've noticed is second time through, they've been able to make an adjustment off me. So it's my turn to figure that out and try to improve on that. But definitely feel good. I'm excited to be here.
1-2 from Ahlstrom coming home to the right-handed Eister, skips in the dirt.
What's Troy like as a catcher?
He's great. I was having trouble today, like in the bullpen before the game, just figuring out slider curveball, and he was actually able to help me out mechanically, and it worked first time through the order, which was great. So he's very good at communicating. Good pitch caller.
So he's calling most of the pitches.
Yeah, he calls the game. The catchers call the game here.
Here's a long fly ball off the bat of Eister. That one's at the wall. That one is way gone. Andrew Eister does it again. A home run in game number 1 and another big fly in game number 2 ties up this one at 4 apiece.
So he's a guy who's caused some havoc for you guys today. Now 2 home runs for Eister, one against Sean Mullen from UCLA and now off Robbie Ahlstrom. Did you notice anything with him in particular when you were going up against him?
Did he hit I think he hit a double off me, actually.
Let's pull it up.
He had a good day.
He had a great day. Yeah, he had I believe a single in the 3rd inning against you.
Yeah, I mean he's looking for a pitch and he's jumping on it. That's for sure. He won't miss his pitch, so you got to make sure you get ahead on him.
Is that something you've noticed where like you leave one pitch over the plate and they attack kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, well one thing I was doing earlier today was falling behind, which is never a good sign for a pitcher, especially in this league. When you fall behind, you're just helping out the hitter, and all these guys are really talented, so they'll jump on a pitch. If they're looking for a pitch, they'll jump on it, which is, something big. Yeah.
Call to the bullpen from Mike Landry and company to be Caleb Verster, who's coming on to the mound for Falmouth.
Is it Verster with a V?
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know.
I took German, so I think it's Verster because
Okay.
Verst in German means sausage, so I guess it's Caleb Sausage or something. But he's coming out on the mound for his second appearance in a Doors uniform. Originally a Wareham Gateman to start the summer, and he was fantastic in outing number 1.
Yeah, remember that he got the win in that game against Wareham on Monday, and we were talking about how he was released by the Gatemen, and then his first appearance in a Commodores uniform, pitched 2 innings, got the win in that come from behind with the home run from Hayden Cantrell. This is all of a sudden a tie game. Now you're a starter at Stetson, correct?
Yes.
What do you think the difference is between starters and bullpen? And something I've noticed with the guys in the bullpen is they come out in a jam sometimes and they have no room for error.
Yeah, that's for sure. So actually last season, towards the beginning of the year, I was primarily out of the bullpen, and yeah, it definitely it's a lot more.
Pressure.
I don't want to say pressure, but there's less room for error, and definitely like you need to go out there and be ready.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to go out there and focus, make sure like all your pitches are working, because there is little room for error for sure. But yeah, I mean some guys just have a knack for it, which is good. They love the high pressure situations.
You keep bringing up how the summer ball you're facing off against the best guys, and some of these guys, jump all over pitches. You make one mistake, they'll jump all over it, and you're trying to adjust to that and adjust to these much better hitters. But I think you're kind of selling yourself short. I mean, you're a guy from Miami who played high school ball. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Columbus High School.
Columbus, they're pretty good. A couple of Miami Hurricanes, I'm a Miami Hurricane myself, a couple of Miami guys from Columbus. And so you're playing at high school ball in Miami-Dade County, one of the most dominant counties, and you're playing at Stetson. You got midweek games against Florida State, against teams like Florida, pretty consistently. So you faced plenty of really solid D1 talent in your day so far. And Stetson, I'm sure, plays a ton of tough teams in a pretty good conference.
Yeah, our conference was pretty competitive this year. I want to say like the first seed was like 14-9, and other than that, like everyone else was just 500. They were just 11-10, 9-10. It was everyone's just beating each other up in the conference. So
a lot of parity, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year we finished first in our conference. This year we finished 6th, and a couple more wins we could have been the 2 seed. It's funny.
There's a base hit through the hole for Samuelson, who came on to pinch hit for Jack Wold. So Samuelson, who got the start in Game 1, comes in, gets one AB in Game 2, and in the 6th inning, he's got himself a single.
So one of the notes I have on you, your first college start was against Danny's school in Miami, but it was canceled by rain.
Yeah, that was actually my my second start.
Okay.
But
so your website
yeah,
lied.
I was pitching well. I go back out for the 5th inning and just lightning, typical down
I'm
there.
sure you're not
yeah.
used to that at all.
Oh no, typical down there, which is it's funny.
It happens.
But it was a good environment. I had a ton of friends and family. Obviously, I'm from there, so there was a lot of people at the game. So
Yeah, what neighborhood you from?
I'm from Pinecrest, Florida.
Pinecrest,
Yeah.
okay. Just down the road.
Yeah.
What do you think of Miami?
I like it. A little crazy, but.
Oh, boy.
Throw goes away from Barron Radcliffe as it was thrown behind Samuelson as he was going back to first base. Goes all the way towards the bullpen in right field. Strong throw from Deloach goes into third, but nothing doing as going first to third on the errant pickoff throw is Samuelson. And things starting to get real dicey for the Doors in the 6th.
And Radcliffe again getting his first start at first base. We've seen a handful of guys play first base for the Commodores, kind of getting accustomed to the position. Radcliffe primarily plays outfield at Georgia Tech, so probably an adjustment, maybe a little bit of miscommunication with Verster, especially with that lefty pickoff move. It can be get there in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, watching from the dugout, I've seen we've tried a handful of outfielders there at first base.
Right.
Sometimes catcher will play it, but it doesn't seem like we have a true first baseman on the team, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, we were talking about that right before you came up. Have you noticed? So who was playing first last game? It was
Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
I think he's normally a left fielder.
Right.
Yeah, he normally mans the corners. We've seen Langworthy play first base.
Tyler Ross, Ben Kasparius.
Michael Turner, just pretty much
True,
everybody.
Michael Turner. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think at first base was there any of their true positions.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So we just rattled off a bunch of guys, and half of them have come and gone.
Right.
How's that for you, getting to know a bunch of people, and then they leave, and then you got new guys to get to know? I mean, this is a constantly it's a cyclical team, basically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it kind of stinks because you get to know these guys,
Right.
for a week, for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden they're gone. But the new guys have also been great. I've been here since the beginning, so a lot of guys have been coming and going. And, all the new guys are great as well. Honestly, our team's gelled really quickly, which is a pretty cool thing. So, yeah.
Who are some of the guys you've gotten closest with? Are you living with anyone?
I'm not living with
Okay.
anyone. I have a room to myself, which is kind of nice. But,
Ground ball left side through the hole, past the diving Cruz into left field. Worcester allows a run to come home in the form of Samuelson, and YD has retaken the lead.
Yeah, infield was playing in because of Samuelson at third base. They were trying to look him back to third if they got a ground ball, but so sharply hit, no chance for Cruz. He tried to dive out. Again, if he's in the hole there, he probably is there, but that's exactly where you got to be playing with a man on third and one out.
So who do you like? Let us know. Who do you
I
hate?
like
Who do you
everyone.
hate?
No. I like everyone's great. I've gotten close to a lot of pretty much all the pitchers really. We mess around all the time in the bullpen. That's what you do down there. But
Yeah, and you guys aren't even too far off from the dugout either. That's the funniest thing is you guys are always goofing off in the bullpen right there, and the dugout's like 5 feet away.
Oh yeah, I mean when we go away we love it as well because we're a little bit further from the dugout, and we bring snacks and
Don't get the scornful looks from Mike Landry.
yeah. When Franco doesn't start, he brings out chips and salsa in a bag. It's
Does he
hilarious.
actually?
Yes, it's
That's
hilarious.
awesome.
We got guys who bring in full meals.
I've
It's kinda
I've
funny.
heard Franco's a character.
Oh, he is. He is a character. That's for sure. He's funny.
Big guy too. He's what, 6'7"?
He's like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, he's huge. 2-0 now the count to Jake Palmer.
I think that makes him more funny.
What was I going to ask? I was going to ask something. Oh yeah, what do you think of Landry? How's that been?
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He kind of just lets us be, which is awesome. He knows that all of us pretty much have a routine back at school, and he just felt like that's what works best for us. So we're pretty much on our own when it comes to that sense. He definitely gives us pointers all the time, and he says it's our career, so he doesn't force you to take his pointers, but
Right.
they're just suggestions for you. And then take it or leave it. That's his opinion or
That
the way he
seems
teaches.
like what I'm hearing a lot from you is it's a crazy amount of self-autonomy that you have. At school, I feel like they're very much putting you on a plan, and you've got a meal plan, you got a workout plan, you've got what your pitching coach wants out of you, and study times even. But on the Cape, not only are you living on your own, but you've got so much self-autonomy where like you said with Landry, he's giving you advice on your pitches that you don't have to take, or Coach Trundy telling you this is your career. Fly ball into left field falls just in front of Austin Maisel. It's another bloop single for Yarmouth Dennis, and after back-to-back singles, they have runners on first and second. But And even going into the gameplay, Troy Claunch behind home plate being able to call the games. Typically at school, I think you would say that the manager is usually calling the games.
Yeah, so normally, I guess in college baseball, a lot of the coaches call the games.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty fortunate enough that at Stetson we get to call our own games.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is awesome. Our pitching coach believes that, in pro ball you call your own games, and that's how you learn. So sometimes we'll make mistakes and stuff, but the only way to improve on it is to do it firsthand. So our coach gives us the freedom to call our own games. He'll give us pointers in between the dugout, in the dugout and stuff in between innings. But I'm I'm very fortunate with my pitching coach that he gives us that freedom.
Riley Terrata coming on to pinch hit, lines one into right center field. That's up and over the glove of Zach DeLoach, and the hit parade will continue. Coming around from second and scoring is Riley King. Throw comes into first base. It's an RBI double for Riley Terrata, and it's now a 6-4 YD lead.
Looking good in this sixth inning as the Doors retook the lead briefly in the bottom of the fifth, but now YD has a 2-run lead yet again. And it all started with that Eister home run. Remember, this inning started with a strikeout looking to Austin Wells. Then a couple singles and a hard hit double.
So what's your approach here? Letting up a couple of runs, guys on base. If you're Caleb right now, how do you settle yourself down, and how do you – because the toughest thing is when you've got nowhere – he's got a base open, but you don't want to walk anybody, obviously.
Yeah.
And you start to feel like your pitches are just getting hit around a lot. What's the adjustment that you have to make?
It's tough, but you have to stay mentally focused, mentally tough, because base hit here scores 2 more. So I guess that's like your main motive. Now that you've already given some damage, you have to try to just limit it. Especially as a reliever, knowing there's 2 guys on, so you can't really take any pitch off at this point.
So Worcester, with his work cut out for him, has Drew Swift, the 9-hitter at the plate, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. He calls for time. Again, 1 out and runners on second and third. First base is open. Not a lot of room for error for Worcester. Infield is in a 2-run ball game. Here's the first pitch. He shows bunt, gets it down up the first base side. Worcester off the mound, throws it home. It's a high throw to Claunch, well over his head. Coming in and scoring a second run is going to be Young, who came on to pinch run for Terrata. It's a 2-run double. Won't go down as that because of the error, but a bunt that was a safety squeeze to start out has now yielded a couple runs, and on second base is Swift.
And a couple costly errors for the Commodores here in the top of the 6th inning. We saw an error from Worcester when he threw over towards Radcliffe. Again, Radcliffe not a familiar at first base, but that ball got into towards the Falmouth bullpen and moved Samuelson all the way over to third base. And then throwing error from Worcester there. I think he had the time. He just rushed it a little bit, and high to Claunch got past him, scored a second run.
So we'll see how that all goes down. Definitely an error charged against Worcester. Now the hitter will be Beasley leading off, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts himself. And another ball outside, gets in the dirt. Claunch throw down to third. He is safe, slides just ahead of the tag. Things just really, the wheels coming off for Falmouth in the 6th.
Now 5 straight runners who have reached 6, for the YD Red Sox. They just got to get out of this inning and try to limit the damage. A 4-run deficit is the largest the largest deficit that Falmouth has been in. And we've had a couple times where some pitchers have been up, and we've had longer innings, but it's usually for the good guys. So we had Franco Alemon up here for a 5-run bottom of the 7th.
Sharp ground ball to third. Moretto comes home with it.
That's
That
a good
is
play.
a perfect throw. Clonch applies the tag. And I don't know why Swift was running from third base, but he is a dead duck. Moretto with a great play.
Now batting, the designated hitter from
So,
the University of South Carolina, Columbia.
What do you think of the defense behind you just as a whole?
Noah.
Guys in the field.
You know, they've been great. I mean, I've had some bad luck with a couple pop-ups, but there's nothing they can do. I mean, they're giving it all they got. They're just
Right.
falling in, but they've been good for the most part. I guess today doesn't show it. They have 3 errors, but I think we've been pretty clean all year. We've had maybe 1 or 2 games poor on defense, and it's usually because of new first baseman.
Right.
But I haven't really seen. I think we've been pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
You got some great outfielders. I mean, we were raving about them a couple innings ago. The speed of guys like Dunn, Maisel, even Langworthy, who is definitely not the fastest of them all, but he covers a lot of ground. I mean, those guys, you let up a hit into the gap, and more often than not, they're tracking it down.
Yeah, I mean, and even if I give up a hard hit double, I mean they're getting after it. They're getting to the ball. Like they're limiting doubles and triples. Really, they've done a great job of kind of trying to limit damage that I start.
So we'll have the second pitching change of the inning. Logan Hoffman will come on for Caleb Verster. We
That must
started
be bad luck up here.
Yeah, honestly, you're not getting invited back.
Well, we started this inning with Robbie Ahlstrom. He only was able to get through an inning and a third, allowed a hit, a run, and then it was Verster who allowed 4 hits through an inning and a third, 4 runs, all 4 of them earned, with a runner on base yet again. And now it'll be up to Logan Hoffman trying to get out of this inning that has just kept on going.
Yeah.
8 runs now home for YD, 5 of them coming in this inning alone.
And looking at some of these lines, Nick Destrini, the starter, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. Robleski came in and was great. Another guy who really bounced back after a shaky outing against Hyannis. 2 innings pitched. He faced the minimum. Despite walking 1, he struck out 4. Alstrom came in, got a looking strikeout to Austin Wells, then gave up the home run to Eister, and it was a tight leash for him. I got to think part of the reason is because he's trying to get these guys out and get Worcester back in there. And Worcester struggled. In line for the loss right now, a third of an inning pitched, 4 earned runs, 4 hits, faced 6 batters. But Logan Hoffman has been outstanding, Danny. This is now his 3rd appearance of the summer. He had a 3.11 ERA and is transferring to Northwestern State next year.
So a team-leading 3rd appearance because he has just been so dominant. He pitched opening week, which seems like just a year ago.
I know, honestly.
And now he's back out on the hill here on June 23rd from Colby College in Kansas, a pretty dominant JUCO itself.
So we talked about it at the beginning of this interview, which has now gone on a long, long time. But the rain, right? So the rainouts.
Yeah.
What are you thinking when you get 5 games called off and you're waiting for your next start? We talked to Franco about it, who was that next up in line for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then finally got out on Thursday. But, like, you guys must have been itching to get out there.
Oh yeah, so I was slated to start Thursday,
Right.
and I didn't get back out here until Sunday at 4.
First pitch
What a
swinging,
play.
beautiful
What a play.
diving play by Cantrell. The glove flip onto second to Cruz. Hayden Cantrell is just carrying the Commodores right now. And that was a fantastic play to finally get out of the inning. Chris, we'll let you finish that thought because I'm sure.
I mean, you just got to stay mentally focused, stay prepared, and obviously the toughest thing is just to keep throwing, especially when it's raining. But we worked with it, Franco, Carmen, and I. We've been just waiting for the moment to get back out there, and I was happy to get back out there. So that was a good sign.
Chris Gonzalez, we're happy to have you in the booth. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, next
Thanks
time
for
bring
joining
some
us.
better luck. I mean, come on.
I'll try. Hopefully we score here in the bottom of the 6th. So
Chris
got
Gon-
2 more innings.
Chris Gonzalez, everybody. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th in just a minute.
Thank you, guys.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Home half of the sixth, and the Commodores have their work cut out for them. They trail by 4, 8-4 ball game. Leading off is Deloach. He chops one right to first base, and this will be a 3 unassisted putout to start us off in the sixth.
That was one of the tougher innings we've seen defensively and pitching from the Commodores. 5 runs in 1/2 inning. I think that's up there for one of the biggest spots they've given up. And Worcester really struggled. There were 5 guys in a row who got hits. 1 home run, followed by 4 straight singles, and a couple errors did not help the cause. But now the Commodores have to dig deep here in the last couple innings.
Steven Moretto, who's 0 for 2, watches a ball sit way outside. But how about Hayden Cantrell having all the RBIs for the Doors, the home run and then the double, and also with that fantastic diving play, glove flip to second, ending the inning that needed to be ended so mercifully so. And I don't know, Cantrell is just having himself a day. Here's Moretto with a hard shot right at third. It's bobbled a couple of times. They say that he caught it on a line. Looked like it bounced in the dirt, and I guess King hung on to it. A fervent out call by John Petula over at third base. 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, Moretto, another hard piece of contact. And this is exactly what you want to avoid after giving up 5 runs. You want to be working a long inning if possible. Not faulting the hitters because they've hit the ball hard, to the opposite sides of the infield, but already got 2 down and you got 4 outs away from a loss.
And only 3 pitches thrown by Smith this inning. Make it 4 after that ball skips in the dirt. 4, 5, and 6, typically the heart of your order, the guys who bring the most pop. Combined 0 for 8. And this is now the 3rd straight inning in which they are at threat of going down in order. They went 4, 5, and 6 down in order in the 2nd, in the 4th, and now they're up here in the 6th. Breaking ball misses way outside to Dunn. 2 balls and no strikes. We've seen some late-game heroics from the Commodores a couple of times. They trailed by 5 twice against Hyannis en route to that tie. Then, of course, against Wareham, they came back thanks to a Cantrell grand slam.
Yeah, he's making an early case for Cape League All-Star. No question about it. I mean, he's looked really solid in the field. I think only 1 error on the season. And at the plate, Cruz has had a better average, but I think as far as clutch hitting and some really big hits in big spots, it's been the leadoff guy, Cantrell.
I think he deserves some props for leading the team in home runs and RBIs and being the leadoff.
Yeah,
that is
no
so
question.
difficult to do.
Because, we talk about it a lot. He's 5'11". He's not like a huge guy, and he increased his power this year at UL Lafayette, had 9 home runs, but he's already got a third of that in 8 games.
With a wood bat, no less.
Yeah, exactly.
2-2 the count to Dunn. Here's the pitch from Smith, down and away. Count goes full. Blake Dunn lined out to short in the 2nd, and he struck out looking in the 4th, both times to end the inning. Doors need 4, and they've only got 4 outs to work with. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Blake Dunn, and it's a 1-2-3 inning worked yet again against the middle part of the order. Smith goes 1-2-3, and we head to the top of the 7th. YD looking for insurance, leading by 4.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
We go to the top of the 7th inning. Falmouth trying to keep the score at 8-4, trying to limit YD from adding some insurance. And Yarmouth Dennis, who put 9 to the plate last inning and 5 runs, will have the heart of the order up again. 3, 4, and 5, Wells, Eister, and Samuelson.
Well, Chris Gonzalez is gone, so we're going to get a 1-2-3 inning, and we'll be back in bottom of the 7th. I think so we've had 4 pitchers up now.
Chopper over towards the first base side, coming off the bag quickly and fielding it himself is Logan Hoffman. 2 great athletic plays for our previous 2 outs. First by Hayden Cantrell to end the 6th, and Logan Hoffman showing that pitchers can be athletes too.
Yeah, we've had a couple odd putouts in this game. Tim Tawa was retired on a 4-1 putout, and that's a 1 unassisted on your scorecard. Not often that you see pitcher field the ground ball and take it all the way to the bag. Hoffman had a great jump on it too. He was there to the ball before Radcliffe even really reacted.
R.J. Yeager will come on and pinch hit for Andrew Eister. Eister, who had the solo home run that tied the game in the 6th, now being replaced with a 4-run cushion for YD, giving them a little bit of confidence. Yeager from Mercer University was a very brief 2018 Falmouth Commodore. He went 1 for 5 in total. I think only played in 2 games. First pitch breaking ball paints the outside black. It's 0-1.
And Hoffman, he works really quickly on the mound. Doesn't waste a lot of time.
Another breaking ball. That one skips well outside. Count runs even to Yeager, the pinch hitter, who on his summer so far is 1 for 9.
Yeah, you mentioned that brief stint in Falmouth, Danny. 1 for 5. He was here for, I think, maybe 2 games.
Yeah, it was
played against Yarmouth Dennis briefly, and then headed back home.
Floats this one foul to make the count a ball and 2 strikes. Yeager from Mercer, as we mentioned, originally from Lynn Haven, Florida. That's on the Panhandle. Was a second-team freshman All-American in 2018. This year was all Southern Conference second team. Had a little bit of a down year with only a .248 batting average. Ball high after a freshman year where he had a .324 average.
Yeah, he was second-team freshman All-American after that season at Mercer in 2018.
Another great curveball, and he just barely is able to make contact. That freshman year, 42 RBI, 6 home runs, 12 doubles. Improved his extra base hit numbers this year, 13 doubles, 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. So only the RBIs dipped a little bit, but again, just wasn't making contact as often. Here's another breaker, and it misses too far inside. The count runs full.
Those 8 home runs, Danny, 3 of them came in 1 game. Had 3 home runs and 5 RBIs against Alabama A&M on February 24th, one of the first games of the year for Mercer.
Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Hoffman decided to go with a fastball in the inside corner, and it works to perfection. Yeager falls to 1 for 10. And now it'll be Samuelson coming up to the plate for his second AB of the ballgame.
Hoffman's great, man. Righty, small guy, 5'10", 180, 1.8 ERA in 5 innings pitched now. Just wastes no time, attacks the zone.
Another fastball that I don't know how hard it is, but it's got a little bit of a zip to it. And he gets Samuelson to swing through it.
I mean, he's doing his job, getting it back to the Commodores' bats. 2 up, 2 down here.
Whew. Another breaking ball. Tate Samuelson has no chance at that one. Just watches it graze at the knees. Samuelson has led his team at San Luis Obispo in home runs and RBIs both his years there, but he won't get that there. Another beautiful breaking pitch. Oh, my goodness.
That was a give-up swing, strike 3. That was like a, oh, my gosh, what was that pitch I just saw?
Back-to-back swinging strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning worked by Logan Hoffman, who is dominating in relief for the Doors. Falmouth with 3 more outs and 4 runs to score to at least tie as we go to the home 7th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20 plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Barron Radcliffe will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Commodores, who need 4 runs to at least send this into 1 extra inning. Again, only 1 extra inning allowed on the Cape, but the Doors have to put up a whole host of runs if they want to send it that far and avoid a loss. Swinging at the first pitch, breaking ball from Smith is Radcliffe. He falls behind 0-1. He's 1 for 1 on the day, a single and a run scored in the 3rd and then walked in the 5th. Here's the 0-1 to the Yellow Jacket, taken inside for a strike.
Radcliffe worked a really good at-bat his last time up. It was 9 pitches, and he drew a walk to start that 5th inning, which had the 3-run home run from Cantrell.
0-2 way outside. It's the bottom of the order, Radcliffe, Claunch, and Maisel. They've been pretty solid, though. They were two of those 3 were on base for Cantrell's home run. 1-2 outside yet again. So it's the bottom of the order, but in name only, really. Radcliffe has a single, Claunch has a single, Maisel has a single. The 2-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. That was a paint job by Chase Smith. And Radcliffe goes down, a looking strikeout.
Yeah, the momentum seems to feel all YD right now, Danny. After that 5-run top of the 6th, they kind of sucked the life out of the Commodores, and they haven't really recovered, and they haven't had time to. Only the bottom of the 6th and 7th, and they went down quickly in the 6th inning.
First pitch to Troy Claunch. He swings. He pops one into shallow right field, and that one will land foul towards the Falmouth bullpen. No balls and 1 strike to the Oregon State Beaver, who's done the catching in both games for Falmouth. Getting a lot of reps in, and kind of surprising. We saw Sean Harrington do it a week ago, and now Claunch has to do it. So you might think it's a little tough on the knees, but then again, Claunch probably didn't get too many chances behind home plate other than midweeks with Adley Rutschman at Oregon State in his junior year. He was mostly a DH this past season.
And another example of a guy who's just ready to go,
yeah.
Right? He came to the Cape just a few days ago, and he wants to play.
He watches a strike grace the outside edge. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, 5 days off for these guys with a couple of innings played here and there. But all in all, it's officially 5 rainouts in 5 days. The 0-2 to Claunch. Fouled off the mask of the catcher, and the count remains the same. Falmouth looking to avoid splitting the doubleheader. They're trying to sweep it. YD, meanwhile, trying to do the opposite, as Falmouth won Game 1 9-6. Right now it's YD ahead 8-4. Here's the 0-2 outside.
If the score stays the same, Danny, Falmouth would stay 3rd in the West. Just a point ahead of Bourne if they keep beating Chatham. They're up 2-0 right now.
Ground ball right side. This will be fielded by Samuelson. He steps on the bag himself, and it's 2 up and 2 down. The Commodores are down to their final out.
And it'll be a pinch hitter. He actually came in as a defensive substitute a couple innings ago and left for Austin Maisel. It's Tyler Ross. But looking more at the implications of this game, Danny, if Yarmouth Dennis holds on, they would move to 11 points, and that East Division would just be so tight. As Orleans, Chatham, and Brewster all with 13 points. Harwich with 12. If Yarmouth Dennis wins today, they have 11.
So Tyler Ross batting from the left side against the right. He swings the first pitch he sees and fouls it away. This will be his first at-bat. He came in, like you mentioned, when we had Chris Gonzalez up in the booth with us to replace Maisel out in left. So Ross, who we've seen at DH, at pitcher, at first base, now at left, getting his first hacks of the ball game. Watches a ball sit low. If Ross can get on, it'll be back to the top of the order, and the ever-dangerous Hayden Cantrell, who's 2 for 3 with 4 ribbies. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right side. This should do it. Fielded on a backhand. Throw onto first, and that will retire the side and end the ball game. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Chase Smith here in the 6th and the 7th, and Yarmouth Dennis manages to split the doubleheader, losing Game 1 9-6, and then beating Falmouth in Game 2 8-4. So the Doors finally back out in action, and the Bats were there, unfortunately only able to take one game.
Yeah, I think the story of Game 2, Danny, was the way that Yarmouth Dennis responded, because we saw with that grand slam that Hayden Cantrell had on Monday against Wareham, the Gatemen kind of folded. They didn't have much of a rebuttal, much of a second fight, and the game stayed 8-5. But you look at that scoreboard, there's 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning when Hayden Cantrell has a 3-run home run. YD comes back out. Austin Wells, their 3-hitter, strikes out looking. Got a home run from, I think, the player of the day for either side in Andrew Eister. Then you get a hit parade of singles, a couple Falmouth errors help out the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, but they responded with an emphatic statement in the top of the 6th inning and put this game out of reach.
So we'll look at the pitching first for Falmouth, because Nick Nastrini, I think, kind of gets washed away with how this game progressed, because in the early goings he was on the hook for the loss for a long time, and then Hayden Cantrell became the player of the game, and then that big 5th inning happened, and I don't know, it just kind of all got lost in the mix. That Nastrini, who started the game, had really good stuff, but still got tagged for a lot of hits in his first outing on the Cape.
Here's a couple of my takeaways. I think Nastrini has the best stuff out of any starter we've seen for Falmouth so far. I mean, his fastball has so much zip to it. He's got that fastball sinker, whatever it is, that had so many guys absolutely lost. 5 Ks. He just, when he throws it over the plate and people connect, they're going to find gaps because it has so much velocity. Robleski is number 2. He was fantastic. And like Maldonado in Game 1, bounced back from a shaky first appearance, I should say, with 2 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and faced the minimum. And then the last one was just, it wasn't Worcester's day. He left some pitches over the plate. Granted, really good hitting by YD, but he's going to be looking for a response like Robleski had the next time he's out.
Really great hitting for Falmouth. They have 17 hits between these two games. Scored, 13 runs total, 9 runs in Game 1, 4 runs in Game number 2. Only 5 hits in this ball game, but still, you got to look at Hayden Cantrell, see that he's, just tearing apart the Cape League so far in the early goings. And then Zach DeLoach, how about him? He goes 0 for in Game number 2, but Game 1, 4 for 4. He's swinging a really good stick. Those two, I think, looking ahead, are going to be 2 of the dominant spots in this lineup.
Yeah, no question. I mean, DeLoach was the offensive player of the game probably for Game 1, either him or Cruz with that shot. But then Cantrell easily in Game 2 with that shot out in center field. He's been fantastic. And the reason the Commodores had less hits in Game 2, I just think Laremy was a better pitcher, and he pitched 4 1/3 despite giving up that home run. He really took a while for the Doors to crack his code. So the YD, I think, was the better team in Game 2.
So Game 1, Falmouth the better team, and they won 9-6. Game 2, final score, YD being the better team, win 8-4, 9 hits compared to Falmouth's 5 hits. Only 1 error compared to Falmouth's 3. So the final score, 9-6 and then 8-4. Split the doubleheader after 5 games off. I mean, what does this mean for Falmouth looking ahead? I think that the offense has really figured things out. But given how they're 2 games back, still 2 extra games to play to catch up to everybody else, haven't played in a long time, split a doubleheader, it's kind of really tough to situate where this team is right now.
And I think, Danny, what I keep coming back to is what Jackson Coots said to you yesterday. He was like, I just want to get into a rhythm. I think Falmouth, even with splitting today, starting to get into that offensive rhythm. And once these guys in the pitching rotation get into their rhythm, right, if they're pitching every 5 or 6 days, I think this team can only go up. And right now, it's not like they're in the basement by any stretch. That would be Hyannis. Sorry, they got their first win tonight, by the way. But they're cemented in that 3rd spot. Not a lot of pressure, right? You got to make the playoffs. Just don't be the worst. Falmouth can do that.
So Falmouth in early June already off to a pretty good start. We're only about, 8 or 9 games in with all those rainouts. So the toughest road is still ahead. But for now, Falmouth split the doubleheader. They win Game 1 9-6. They lose Game 2 8-4. We'll be back in action tomorrow night.
No.
No? Oh, I'm sorry. Not Monday night. We'll be back in action Tuesday night. Against Brewster. So Falmouth getting the day off again tomorrow. But this time,
because we need it. We really need it.
This time a planned day off, not a rain out. And Tuesday, hopefully, we'll be in action yet again. So that will do it from Gov Fuller Field. A long doubleheader now expired for our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, our producer, Tony Bianco, my partner, David Korsanowski. I'm Daniel Rose saying so long. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple days.